My name is Simon. I'm a sailor, a scoundrel, and a scallywag, and this week in Silva Bay we have the best of intentions. We try to help some friends out and do the right thing, and inevitably we come up a little short.
So Bill came by with Joshua, which is a spray replica, beautiful boat, and that book was like, I think my first sailing book I ever read.
Let's get into it. Welcome to the Vancouver Wooden Boat Society. I'm here to pattern out a full boat cover. This is the first full boat cover I've ever done.
An interesting challenge doing work in Vancouver while having a shop here in Gabriola.
It's for an 18-foot open cockpit rowing sailing vessel that's just been restored by Tony, its owner. It's a beautiful shop and a beautiful boat. It's my first cover for an entire boat, and this one has to do dual duty. Because the boat is so small, they want a cover that is both trailerable and moorage safe. So if they want to leave it at a dock or on a mooring ball, they can leave the cover on to keep it dry and keep all the critters out of it. But also they want to be able to strap it down and for it all to be tight enough that they can drive down the road without blowing it out.
All right, we're gonna take a little intermission and save a boat that's sinking. It's been sinking for a long time, but I want to introduce you to a new toy, something I bought a little while ago. This has been through a lot already. We've used it for about 6 months now. It's a battery-powered, sealed bilge pump. This thing moves a lot of water. It's kind of like halfway between a ditch pump and a bilge pump. It works like a hot dam for problems like this, and we're gonna go throw it in this sinking McGregor and get our water line back up to normal. You know, it looks pretty bad, but honestly, fiberglass, it would be pretty repairable. Wow. I don't know. Fits in the boat. Got a free one for you. McGregor, 28, I think. What's not to love? Trailerable. Alright, so as you can see, you just press one button and off she goes. Pumping away. Making bubbles. We're just gonna kind of maybe clear out that locker, get her as deep as she'll go, and then I can leave it unattended for a bit and let it just do its thing. A little bit less work on my part. Yeah, I just love this pump, man. I've used it quite a few times. I think we've already dropped the water line a solid 12 inches. And that's real 12 inches, not just man 12 inches, so not bad. I just gotta take a little bit more water out of here and then go check on that locker and see if I can't get it all the way down into the bilge. So as you can see, it shoots it out pretty strong. Look at that. And on a single charge, apparently it pumps for 45 minutes. I've never used more than one charge at a time. So it runs on an 18-volt lithium-ion battery. And yeah, really kicks a lot of water. Now, I wish I'd made either A, a longer hose, or B, a weight on the bottom of this hose, because I can't let this go without getting absolutely soaked now. But we'll let this run for a few, and we'll come back and bail out the other sections of the boat and hopefully get this thing sitting right again. Okay. All right, I've untied my boat. I'm gonna try and let this go and run away before it soaks me. 3, 2. Oh, no. Oh, okay. There we go. It's good. I'll let that run for half an hour and pump this thing out. Probably less than that.
This isn't the only time I've had to pump out this boat, and I've been looking after it for quite a long time. Unfortunately, there's no happy endings when it comes to old rotten boats.
Well, don't mind the chaos in here, but Bill came by with Joshua, which is a spray replica, beautiful boat. And that book was like, I think my first sailing book I ever read. So it was the first time I think I saw you roll through was what, 2 or 3 years ago, and learned a lot about, I don't know, it was cool to see it like manifest a little bit, something you'd only seen in the books. But yeah, Joshua's, is that her main jib?
That's a jib.
Her jib, yeah. Okay, so Joshua's jib needs a little bit of stitch up work. So we've got it laid out here in the yard. We're gonna give it a scrub first, clean it up. Then we got some insignia to stick onto it, makes our job a little bit easier. And then I'm just gonna run it over with the can't sew, and hopefully it can sew today. We'll see. Thanks.
Our little Jack is a whiner. Billy Proctor is the same to the northwest up around the Brown. He's no man who's done everything there.
Yeah, I've diversified. Now I'm trying to get specific.
Honey and I are just going just fine right
Full-time job, Petner.
now. Yes.
Oh, well, we're here, I guess. Clean both sides. What we need is like a giant mast here to just.
That's friends and family that history too much. They just don't know when to stop. That's what are those?
Chunks of prop shaft.
Well, they're big handy weights.
You do have a few of your own repairs, and then suddenly start treating your sales a bit nicer, don't you? Thanks.
Okay.
Hey, Simon from the future here, and I'd like to just wrap up this episode and fill in some of the missing information. The first bit is that cover I made at the start was really cool. Here's some photos of it. It was my first ever full boat cover, and yeah, I learned a lot, and it was kind of an interesting challenge doing work in Vancouver while having a shop here on Gabriola. The second thing I'd like to cover is that water pump. It did eventually break down. I think I got a year out of it. But what happens is the cap on top has underneath it two prongs for charging, and as far as I can tell, that's directly connected to the BMS module. And when that cap leaks, because it's not watertight, if the battery's fully charged, you can get direct voltage from the lithium cells through the BMS module, and in this case it just dead shorted, overloaded the BMS module, and now it won't really take a charge. I can put the charging circuit on it and it lights up and it'll even power on, but it's always at empty battery, so it only runs for about 30 seconds before it conks out on me. So it's not charging anymore, so I could probably either just replace the BMS module or get a new battery for it and get it working again, or I've also emailed the company because I'm looking to work with them on a version 2, because I think it's a really great product and I think it could make a big difference to a lot of us, because it's just the exact right form factor for most applications. That ditch pump is so sick. I also want to talk a little bit about the boat, because I've seen a lot of comments about that boat. It's taken a long time to sink, and the one next to it's already sunk. Now that my pump is broken, we've had to eventually let it go, but as it turns out, the Coast Guard, which was now, I've been working for 2 years to try and dispose of these boats, but the Coast Guard wouldn't do anything about it until it posed a navigational hazard. It didn't pose a navigational hazard while one boat was still floating. So now both boats are sunk, mostly sunk. It's a McGregor, won't fully sink. And now will pose a navigational hazard, and the Coast Guard
will award a contract to some contractor to pump it out, lift it from the bottom, get it pumped out, get it hauled off, and get it disposed of environmentally friendly. But yes, does it make any sense? No, it makes more sense to deal with it while it's still floating. Would they do it back then? No, they wait for it to be a navigational hazard. It's a policy thing. It's what they do. I don't know. But I have seen a lot of nasty comments gated towards the owner of those boats. I don't think you need to use much imagination to know that the guy who owns those boats, who used to live on the steel boat, doesn't have any money and is homeless now. So it's not like it's just some millionaire running around just throwing garbage everywhere, okay? This is not a situation anyone wants to be in. Ideally, they would have their health and they'd be able to live on their boat and be comfortable. But it's just, life doesn't work that way for sometimes, and I feel like a lot of people online have lacked the compassion. So if you are one of those people who are ready to throw some blame around, maybe you should spend some time volunteering at the local food bank or dealing with unhoused people on a regular basis. They are just people. There's nice people, there's mean people, good people, bad people, and you'll get to know that these are human beings you're talking about, you know? And we don't always do exactly what we want in life, and sometimes we have bad scenarios forced upon us by bad health, bad circumstance. You know, just a little compassion would be nice. And if you can't find that, well, sorry, whatever. I don't need to sink to your level. You can be a compassionless person, and well, good luck with that. Anyways, for the rest of you, see you next week on another episode on Friday, regular upload schedule. Thank you so much for watching.